when you engage in tradition, I mean, when a wisdom tradition is very strongly present in one's life, you grow up with the sense, or you enter into a religious culture that has a sense that there are those who have come before you, who may have been to deeper and truer places than you, who have figured out some of the deepest things in life, and that one of your jobs, in addition to figuring out your own life, is to be a recipient of the wisdom that has been transmitted. Now, there's no rule book for life. There's no way that anybody could ever write every rule for every situation. So it's not about following the rules, but it's rather about imbibing a spirit and starting out with the idea that until you've gained some mastery of your own mind, your own thoughts, your own emotions, that you're not trustworthy. And I think many of us, when we look back on our lives, when you've made strong decisions, you had very strong feelings about one thing or another, you look back and you say to yourself, I wasn't trustworthy. I didn't have enough sense, I didn't have enough knowledge, I didn't have enough emotional control to make those decisions. So if one does not grow up in or enter into a culture that tells you that, everybody assumes, I think when you come into consciousness, with late teenage or something else, that you're fully equipped to deal with every problem that life gives you. And we look back on that and we see, well, that's just completely absurd. None of us comes into our late teens, early 20s fully equipped, but we think we are. As I've counseled people and looked at myself as people struggle over the years, the first sense one has is the betrayal of other people, that we're sad because other people have let us down. We're sad because other people have not treated us right. I think that's the second position, in addition to I'm fully equipped, is that no one else is. Okay? Just I'm fully equipped, everybody else is letting me down. And I see that over and over again with people. And then when people understand that other people have let them down, I've seen some people then find their way into probably a well-meaning but unfortunately not great therapist who has them rehearse the fact that the first people who let them down have been their parents. Okay? So they say, not only is everybody else letting me down, but I was raised by people who let me down. Okay? And then once that gets memorized, then they have now a fully formed explanation of why they let other people down. Meaning, I let other people down because of my parents. Other people let other people down because they're bad people, right? So it's a kind of a narcissism that I run into. It's a little bit depressive on one hand, meaning how can I possibly get it right having been raised so long? And isn't the world a place where no one is straight, true, or honest? Now, I don't think anybody thinks that way. No one has this conscious thought. But now and then when I counsel somebody, I try to poke at what's going on in there. What I hear is what's called an etiological myth. You know what an etiological myth? Etiology is the science of causes. So when people first began studying what they called primitive religion, which is a religion of some other culture, typically, when people began studying primitive religion, they said, well, here's what a primitive religion does. They try to understand everything that is now by some theory of things that happened before that have caused it. Okay? So a lot of what therapy is, unfortunately, is an etiological myth, meaning you're the way you are because of these things that have happened to you. So this kind of spiritual work, now with a deep and wise person, this is not what happens in therapy. I know enough deep, wise therapists and people who have been through incredible transformative therapeutic experiences where they're not taught to buy into the etiological myth, meaning you're this way because of this, and you're somehow fixed, meaning you're set. This is not something that you can radically transform. Now, when you move into a wisdom tradition, you're not really looking for an etiological myth. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't reasons for our being the way we are, unquestionably. Some of us were raised by incredibly deep, wonderful, sensitive people. Others of us have a genetic gift that makes us impervious to the mistakes of other people. So I'm not saying that we aren't how we are because of our DNA and because of our parents. But if one is in the realm of reasonably morally healthy, your choices have a lot more to do with anything that's happened before you.